the beautiful game? Well, it has never been more beautiful.
This is a very, very special team. In fact, I'd go as far as the best I've seen.
I saw things there that I've never seen before and will probably never see again.
He said, remember, you know that with me as a coach, you will win everything. And it happened.
It's Iniesta! Dani Alves! Can you believe it?
Backs up Ramos!
Goes for goal! Suarez!
Messi! Bombazo!
For Suarez! Unbelievable! Off his line, he's left his goal and gone.
In November 2021, Ronald Koeman was sacked as the Barcelona manager after the club collapsed without Messi, sat mid-table in La Liga, and had just wasted hundreds of millions on flops like Philippe Coutinho, Antoine Griezmann, and Miralem Pjanic. But just 18 months later, this same team of flops would lift the La Liga trophy, led by a rookie coach who literally outplayed everyone. But how on earth was this possible? This is the story of how Xavi Hernandez took a broken, underperforming Barcelona squad and turned them into champions of Spain. Barcelona wasn't just struggling, they were collapsing. Messi, the symbol of an entire era, was gone, forced out in 2021 because the club couldn't even register his contract. Overnight, the greatest player in history left through tears at a press conference. And Barcelona became ordinary. The same Camp Nou that once roared in Champions League finals now echoed with boos. Headlines across Europe mocked Barça. Finished, bankrupt, dead club walking. Behind the scenes, the truth was even worse. Barcelona were drowning in 1.3 billion euros of debt. Their desperate solution, the infamous Palancas, economic levers that sold off chunks of the club's future income just to survive today. Broadcasting rights, sponsorship deals, even pieces of the club's soul were mortgaged. At one point, Barca's wage bill was so bloated, it surpassed their actual income, and the names attached to those wages? A catalog of football's most expensive disappointments. Philippe Coutinho, 135 million euros, Barca's record signing, benched for years. Then, insult to injury. On loan at Bayern Munich, he scored 2 goals against Barcelona in the infamous 8-2 humiliation. He literally destroyed the club that paid for him. Antoine Griezmann, 120 million euros, signed as a superstar from Atletico Madrid, never fit into the system, never won a single trophy for either club in that cycle. Eventually loaned back to Atletico in what felt like one of the most expensive round trips in football history. Samuel Umtiti, once a World Cup winning center back with France, but injuries shattered his career. He barely played yet drained tens of millions in wages. Fans began calling him a ghost player. Clément Lenglet, signed as a steady defender from Sevilla. Instead, he became a walking meme after high-profile mistakes, like gifting penalties and collapsing in big Champions League nights. Loaned away, forgotten, Miralem Pjanic, a bizarre swap deal with Juventus that screamed financial engineering. Never fit, rarely played, yet carried massive wages. He became a symbol of the desperation economics Barcelona were trapped in. This wasn't a rebuild. This wasn't a transition. This was survival. Barcelona weren't chasing titles anymore. They were fighting to avoid humiliation, irrelevance, and total financial ruin. So, how could anyone fix this? How could a rookie coach, still closer to his playing days than the old guard of managers, possibly bring order to this chaos? When Xavi Hernandez returned to Barcelona as manager in late 2021, fans expected the club icon to bring back the beautiful football of old. What they didn't expect was how ruthless he would be. This wasn't nostalgia. This was survival. Griezmann, loaned back to Atletico. Coutinho, shipped out on loan to Aston Villa. Veterans like Piqué, Busquets, Jordi Alba, forced to either adapt or step aside. Even Ousmane Dembélé was told, renew under Xavi's terms or rot in the stands. There were no more sacred cows. Xavi made it clear, Barcelona belonged to the club, not the players. While he cut down the flops, Xavi doubled down on the future. Pedri became the heartbeat. Gavi, just 17, was thrown into battles against Real Madrid. Alejandro Balde replaced Jordi Alba. For the first time in years, La Masia wasn't just a slogan, it was the foundation. Every player had to follow Xavi's rules, arrive 2 hours before training, eat together, fines for lateness. This cultural reset turned Barcelona from a club of pampered stars into a functioning unit again. And Xavi didn't blink when veterans pushed back. But cutting players wasn't enough. The question lingered. Once the noise was gone, could Xavi actually design a system to win? Could Xavi actually deliver a style of play worthy of Barcelona? Xavi rebuilt the system around a modernized 4-3-3, possession football with fast pressing intensity. Pedri as the creative heartbeat, Gavi as the relentless engine, Busquets as the anchor. Before Xavi, Barça had possession without purpose. That changed the moment Robert Lewandowski arrived. At 34, he became the perfect finisher for Xavi's system. Barcelona didn't just score, they defended. Araujo, Koundé, and Christensen turned Barça into the stingiest defense in Europe. They conceded only 20 goals in 38 La Liga matches. For the first time since Messi's departure, fans could say, this looks like Barcelona again. Barça went from conceding over 1 goal per game to just 0.5. They kept 26 clean sheets in La Liga. Compared to Real Madrid, Barcelona conceded half as many goals. Behind Xavi's football was a financial gamble, and that gamble was the Palancas. Remember the Palancas, those desperate financial levers where Barça literally sold chunks of future TV rights just to survive. Barça pulled in over 700 million euros instantly, but it meant giving up a quarter of their La Liga TV revenue for 25 years. If Xavi failed, Barcelona weren't just done for the season, they were done for a generation. Those Palancas were the only reason new stars like Robert Lewandowski and Jules Koundé were even allowed to play. Without those financial tricks, La Liga literally would not have registered them. Some of those deals never fully materialized. They had essentially bet the club's future on accounting maneuvers just to field a squad. And somehow, it still worked. Lewandowski's goals, Pedri and Gavi's magic, Araujo and Koundé locking down defenses, it all clicked. Barcelona stormed La Liga. Only 4 losses all season. Beat Real Madrid 3 times in El Clasico. Laporta, once ridiculed for the Palancas, now looked like a genius. Barcelona didn't just win La Liga. They conceded only 20 goals all season, the lowest tally in Europe's top 5 leagues. The same club who once shipped 8 goals versus Bayern Munich suddenly had the toughest wall in football. And yet, even in victory, questions lingered. The Palancas weren't erased. They were just postponed. Was this Xavi-led title the start of a dynasty? Or just a band-aid on a bleeding wound?